Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're taking a strictly scientific, honestly kind of mind-bending look at the physical and biological consequences of a purely hypothetical mega-Earth scenario. We are going to explore exactly what happens to a planet and its inhabitants when the physical rules suddenly scale up. Okay, let's dive into this. I want you to imagine a reality where, right at this exact second, our planet's radius instantly doubles. Now, the trick here is that it maintains the exact same density. So it doesn't just puff up into a gas giant, right? It stays the rocky planet we know and love, just massively upscaled. So what actually happens to you, to the room you're sitting in, and the world right outside your window? Well, the answers are pretty terrifying.
Section 1. The brutal physics. Let's jump right into the cold, hard mathematical reality that would dictate every single aspect of life on this theoretical planet.
So, when you double a planet's radius while keeping that density constant, you are not just multiplying the planet by 2. That's not how the math works. The math dictates that the volume is actually cubed, and that staggering increase in volume creates an 8-fold increase in the planet's total mass. Now, gravity is proportional to mass, but inversely proportional to the square of the radius. So when you balance out that massive 8-fold mass increase with the doubled radius, the surface gravity exactly doubles. Boom! 2 Gs. Everywhere, all at once. Let's ground this math in a visceral, personal reality. If you're someone who currently weighs 70 kilograms on our normal Earth, the very moment this expansion happens, you would instantly weigh 140 kilograms. You haven't actually gained any mass, but the literal pull on your body is twice as strong. I mean, just try to imagine the sheer physical toll of that. Simply standing up from a chair would literally feel like you're carrying another full-grown adult on your back. Forget skipping leg day, you know? Every single day is suddenly the most extreme workout of your life, putting an immense, exhausting strain on your skeletal system, your muscles, and, absolutely critically, your heart. Section 2. Biology under crushing gravity. This doubled gravity would force a complete, unforgiving reset of all living organisms. And this brilliantly illustrates the contrast. To endure a high-gravity Earth, animal life, including us obviously, could not exist as we do right now. We'd be forced into this rapid evolutionary reset. We'd have to evolve to be much shorter, much stockier. Our bodies would require incredibly thick bone structures just to prevent our own limbs from snapping under their multiplied weight. You would be dealing with constant, crushing fatigue. Your heart, it has to pump twice as hard just to push blood upwards to your brain. Without thousands of years of generational cardiovascular adaptation, we would see a drastic, immediate drop in average human life expectancy. But hey, this biological reset wouldn't just affect animals, it completely transforms the flora around us too. Think about the towering redwood trees of our current world. They would be a physical impossibility on a mega-Earth. Trees rely on this incredibly complex internal system to pull water up through their roots all the way to their highest branches. But under 2 Gs? That vertical water transport fails entirely. The extreme gravitational pull just overpowers the plant's ability to draw moisture up to such great heights. So instead, our majestic forests are entirely replaced by low-lying, extremely thick-trunked vegetation that just hugs the ground. Section 3. The collapse of engineering. Let's shift our focus from biology to the devastating consequences for our built environment and space exploration. Put simply, our cities would fall. That doubled gravity would pull a much thicker blanket of gases incredibly tight against the Earth's surface. So the very air we breathe would feel thick, dense, and pretty sluggish to move through. But the immediate catastrophic danger is our infrastructure. No modern skyscraper, no suspension bridge, absolutely zero long-span structures built with today's architectural tolerances could possibly stand. Engineered for 1 G, these materials would instantly buckle and collapse under their own multiplied weight. It would be total devastation. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the implication for getting off this rock. You might think, okay, if the surface is so hostile, let's just look to the stars. But space travel becomes an impossible dream. The escape velocity, that's the speed required to break free of gravity and launch into orbit, jumps by roughly 40%. In rocket physics, that 40% increase demands an exponential amount of fuel. Modern chemical rockets simply cannot hold enough fuel to generate that thrust without becoming entirely too heavy to even lift off the pad. Humanity would be effectively trapped on the surface. Section 4. A volatile, trapped planet. Let's zoom out to the macroplanetary scale and examine this terrifying geological engine of destruction. Let's move to and see how this builds into an overwhelming violent scenario. Remember that 8-fold increase in mass we talked about? Well, that generates immense internal pressure and heat, fundamentally supercharging the Earth's mantle.
We're talking tectonic plates moving with violent speed and force, triggering constant planetary-scale earthquakes. This furious activity throws up massive, jagged mountain ranges, only for them to be rapidly ground back down by that incredibly heavy, dense atmospheric erosion. And right alongside all this, relentless, continuous volcanic activity.
And that continuous volcanic activity does something absolutely terrible to the sky. These volcanoes would constantly pump massive amounts of ash and greenhouse gases into the air. Now, because the gravity is so incredibly strong, it holds this dense atmosphere tightly against the planet. What this does is ultimately transform the Earth into a volatile, hyper-pressurized greenhouse world. The heat gets trapped, the air becomes thick and unyielding, and the ground itself is literally tearing itself apart.
So the crucial point is when you combine the crushing exhaustion of moving your own doubled weight, the immediate collapse of our built environment, a nearly unbreathable atmosphere, and an utter inability to ever leave the planet, could humanity even survive the physical limits of this hyper-pressurized greenhouse world? This catastrophic domino effect of a suddenly colossal Earth pushes life to the absolute brink. It's a haunting testament to just how perfectly tuned our current planet is for our existence. Keep that in mind the next time you feel light on your feet. Thank you for joining me for this explainer, and as always, keep questioning the world around you.